Yo, when I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Kop End Fracas, powered by Touchline Media Group. I am your host, Krish, and today I am joined by Ellis and Mark to talk about all things week in review for Liverpool Football Club. Gentlemen, how are you doing this fine? I say fine; it's absolutely pissing it down outside. This fine Tuesday evening as we record.
All is well, sir. All is well, man.
Good. Forever the optimist, you know me, man. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. You are the optimist, as we've just seen. We are recording this after Leicester City have beaten Manchester United, weakened, rotated Manchester United, who have been made to play a game against their will, with a lot of their youngsters playing and reserve players playing. So, and Mark has done a little bit of a bet with Mike, and if we finish top 4 at the end of the season, he gets to shave Mike's hair off, which is quite funny, and that will be Patreon content as well. So you don't say, so you can say what you want about Kop End, but you always get fantastic content at every single turning point. Speaking of which, in terms of content, tomorrow evening, which will be today when you're listening to this, which is today, Wednesday the 12th. I always forget that we record this and it goes out the day after. It will be Wednesday, the 12th of May, 2021 at 7 p.m. Myself and that man right there, there he is, right there. If you watch on the YouTube, will be Mr. Ellis, will be going off against 2 members of Make United Great Again, the Mugger podcast, and a head-to-head fight card as Liverpool prepare to play Manchester United this Thursday evening. And we will be doing our research and our prep to put these guys in the mud, much like our season. And please join in for that. Again, today, I keep forgetting, it's today, at 7 p.m. I don't know why I did that like a Yardie radio. Today, 7 p.m, p.m. Casual wear, no hoods. Tune in to the fight card at 7 p.m. It will be on the Touchline Fracas YouTube page where you're watching this on YouTube already. And of course, as per usual, the Kop End Fracas Patreon page. We have got business booming on the Kop End Fracas Patreon page. So do subscribe to there today. From as little as £3 per month, you'll get a wealth and a vault of fantastic Kop End content that we put out on a weekly basis, from phenomenal instant post-match reaction shows to our more in-depth pieces focused on the academy, Liverpool transfer targets, and all things revolving around the football club. That is www.patreon.com/Kop End Fracas. You can see it at the bottom of your screen going down right now if you're watching on the YouTube, which I implore that you do if you're listening on the audio and you want the YouTube. That is patreon.com/Kop End Fracas. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the action. And Liverpool won a game of football at Anfield. It's rare it happens these days, unfortunately. They're now 6 games unbeaten. 6 games unbeaten in the Premier League. And in what was the most boring game of football of all time, the longest game of football of all time, as I said on the post-match show at the weekend, the second half felt like an endless void where football was happening, but you didn't really know what was going on. They came out winners. And Els, I'll come to you for this. That performance felt like a kind of cataclysm of what we've seen in recent weeks in terms of Liverpool kind of getting an early lead within the first half, having opportunities, especially in the first half, to extend on that lead, not capitalising on it. But the ultimate change was that it was a fantastic goal by Thiago Alcantara to seal that victory. What was your thoughts initially after you'd watched the game and now you've had a few days to process it?
Immediately after the game, I thought that was a really meh game. It was really not much quality within the game. I thought that we could have played a bit better, taking our chances a bit more. Yeah, that's just my feeling, really. I just thought it was just one of those, like you say, it was kind of a horrific game. The lack of quality within the midfield was poor. We didn't use the ball well. When we did have chances, we didn't take them. So it was was a bit annoying, really, man. I don't think many players can say they had a good game apart from Ali, Trent, Mane ish. Yeah, that's what I didn't really like the game. I didn't really like the performance. But after having a few days, trust me, I didn't really like it, man. But
I agree.
yeah, after a few days, you calm down and you think about it. We've had that game so many times last season, but what made it better was that the control was there, and I just think that we lack control at the minute, and it's showing in our games and our performances. So it was like a 1920 game, as in 2019-2020, not like 1920. But yeah, as in it was the season where we won the title. It was one of those games where we score halfway through the first half and we end it like 85 minutes. We get the winner and everyone can go. But within all those minutes, we control the game. But this season, in our game, there's a lot of lack of control. I think we was very fortunate that Southampton are devoid of quality up front, because if Danny Ings scored, it might have been a different game. Or if Danny Ings played, rather, it would have been a different game, just because the quality he has surpasses everyone else up front. So we can count ourselves rather fortunate. Also, Ali had a immense game. He made about 3-4 saves that were very, very crucial to us winning. So yeah, right now I think we're just at the end of the season where we just want to take as many points as possible. I don't think we really care about the performances. It's just trying to get numbers on the board.
Completely agree. And it's one of those performances where you look at it subjectively whilst they're playing, you're thinking, this is actually awful. But they did what they needed to do to get the job done. Mark, I'll come to you on this. Kind of staying on the performance, really, more than anything. It felt very reminiscent of the first season under Jurgen Klopp. I say the first full season under Jurgen Klopp when we got Champions League football. That kind of run towards the back end where they were playing some awful football, but getting results. The game that springs to mind for me is that game away at Watford, where Emre Can scores that fantastic overhead kick, which had no business being scored in a game of such awful magnitudes. You take that now, wouldn't you? First and foremost, that's the first question for you. You take those awful performances if they result in 3 points. But do you also think these kind of games are really important now, especially at the end of the season, considering how the season's gone, that they just keep adding on and they try to go unbeaten till the end of the year so they can say, look, it was a shitstorm of a season. Virgil died in October. Gomez followed after him. Thiago died as well. Basically, everyone just went missing. And they could just say, look, even with these obstacles in front of us, even if they don't get Champions League, which we still hope that they can, it's looking like a bit more of an insurmountable task when you're relying on other things to go your way. But they can say, look, we put this run together at the end of the year, and it's a little bit of something that we can take into the next campaign.
Yes, honestly, building that momentum would be very, very important going forward as a squad, regardless of who comes and who stays and who goes. In fact, I think, like you said, the Watford game was so devoid of quality. There was just a moment of magic from Emre Can, and that is what we saw on Saturday. Literally, the game wasn't the greatest game. We could have put a lot of passes together, and then Salah picked up Mane for a great goal. And then Thiago just does Thiago things. We haven't really seen him shooting as much as of late, but we know he is of that quality to be able to pass the ball into the net with that velocity and score a goal like that. But it is very important to continue winning games. I'm still of the mind that we do make top four, and reminiscent of the season, Jurgen Klopp's first full season, which I believe is 17-18, we will get top four on the last day on goal difference. And I think that's just because at the moment, it's still technically in our hands. Leicester face Chelsea. I don't currently see Leicester beating Chelsea, especially with the way they played tonight. They played a heavily rotated United side and didn't really threaten them too much. It was just a moment from a corner where Rashford was marking Söyüncü. Söyüncü pulls away from Rashford and gets a header in.
Talk about your mismatches. Of course.
Yeah, literally. Even Matic was in and around the area, but when someone of Sionchu's aerial prowess is in the air, there's only certain people who can stop him. And one of those would have been Harry Maguire. I think that bodes well for us that Harry Maguire isn't playing on Thursday. I do think Bailly is a slightly better defender. I know a couple of Man U fans will echo that sentiment with me, but it is quite important to continually put points on the board regardless of how that comes. And once we get to the end of the season, whether we're top 4 or not, hopefully we are top 4. We can just put the rest of the season behind us, knowing that Virgil's coming back, Gomez is coming back, Konate is coming back. We will have a fully fit squad. Skipper will be back as well. I'm not too sure if he'll play any part in our remaining 4 games, but if he is able to come in and offer some of his qualities, then that would be amazing too. But the majority of it is continually putting together performances that get us over the line. I don't really care how it comes at the moment.
Completely agree. Els, I'll come to you on this next bit, and that's phenomenally well put, by the way, Mark. It's one of those parts where you look at it and you think you don't care about how performances come, and this team very much prides themselves on being Liverpool and having that identity of playing how Liverpool do. But sometimes you just have to get in the pits, you have to get in the mud, and see it out till the bitter end, whatever that end may be. And hopefully they kind of do that from now to the end of the season, which they are showcasing they can do. Els, I'll come to you on this next bit. And like I was kind of inferring to there, Liverpool have found it very difficult being Liverpool this season. And the most glaring thing is he's just putting the ball in the back of the net more than anything. Jota seems to have drunk the Kool-Aid. The rest of them have, in terms of needing 16 chances to score 1 opportunity. And it's been that's been the one of the big systematic issues of our season. Yes, defense has been an issue from parts, especially from when you were playing Reece Williams, who is as green can be in terms of at this level. And the guy was playing non-league football last year, so the comparison is chalk and cheese. And then you've got Nat Phillips, who essentially just tries to assault every single football with his head that he can. But the main issue in terms of Liverpool struggling to beat Liverpool is you look at the front 3 and front 4 as well, if we do include Firmino in that. They found it very difficult in putting chances away this season, and it was very evident again from that first half. Really, that you saw some opportunities where, on their day, they're capable of scoring. But the one thing they found incredibly difficult this season is that conveyor belt of chances where, okay, if I miss this one, and it's been more evident in kind of Sadio Mane and Mo Salah more than anyone, where they think, okay, we missed this one, another one will be around the corner. They're like buses, these chances. One will come 5 minutes later. The chance comes again. Oh, bloody hell, they popped into the corner shop to grab a drink before they get on the next bus. Bus is gone again.
Yeah.
And then the next one, and then the next one comes, bus doesn't come. And they just run out of these opportunities. What do you think that needs to change in terms of next season? And what do you think the biggest solution in terms of that is as well? Do you think it's kind of having a bit more of an increased output and a bit more faith in your midfield? Or do you think it's a little bit of a retooling and expecting these guys to score these chances more when they come around?
Both could be correct, bro. Both could be correct. I do think that we do need more goals from everyone else. Football is a team sport. Just because Mo and Mane have been extraordinary in the last 2-3 seasons, scoring like 20 apiece a season, they're human beings in it, and they are fallible to losing a bit of stardust. More Mane this time. So I think next season the forwards could do a bit of help of the midfielders chipping in. I think we've got that 1 goal from everyone in midfield this season, or 2, something stupid like that. I was reading an article with James Pierce. We've got something dumb, something so ridiculous.
Keep filibustering. I'll look at that.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
So yeah, no, actually that's it. We've got 4 goals from midfield this season in comparison to United, who've got like 24, and Man City's got 28. So you can see where the problem is. If Mane's not scoring, if Bobby's not going to score, you need goals from somewhere else. The fullbacks don't really tend to score. We're not getting no goals from the centre backs because the main threats aerially are injured in Matip and in Van Dijk.
And Joe Gomez is still yet to score a senior first team football goal.
Yeah, ever. So yeah, so that's where our problem is. In all, if one person is not scoring, you need people to like cover the tracks. I mean, if we can get 15 goals from 6 midfielders, that wins you a couple games, isn't it?
So you've got 1 goal from Jordan Henderson this season.
Yep.
You've got 1 goal from Curtis Jones this season. You've got 2 goals from Jorginho Wijnaldum this season, and you got 1 from Thiago at the weekend.
See what I'm saying?
That's
not good. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. I know people are probably listening to this pod, especially from the group chat, saying, "Oh yeah, Bruno." But at the end of the day, you still want a bit of control in your midfield. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want someone kicking the ball out every opportunity. But yeah, that's neither here or there. But we need people to step up, and we need people to take more of an opportunity when they do get it. Someone like Genie, he'll probably be off in the summer, but when he plays for the Netherlands, he turns into prime Ruud Gullit. People saying that he does a job for Liverpool, so he can't score goal, which is a bona fide lie. Nobody stops him from getting into the 18-yard box. Klopp doesn't have a leash on his neck, stopping him from getting to the 18-yard box. Klopp doesn't have a leash on Henderson's neck, stopping him from getting to the 18-yard box. So apart from their defensive duties, they can like break forward and get a goal. And the second part of your question, Chris, retooling. Maybe we do need some fresh legs up front. The likes of Mane, the likes of Salah, the likes of Bobby, they've done their job. I say job, but they've paid their dues. They've been doing it for 4 to 5 years.
They've helped pave the way. Yeah, I completely agree.
They have. Yeah, they've been doing it for 4 to 5 years. They've put in a lot of mileage. We can see with Bobby the reason why he is where he is now, and he looks like a knackered player because he's a knackered player. He's played the most minutes under Klopp, more than everybody. So for like 2 seasons now, he's been cooked because he's got a lot of mileage in his legs. Context is always king. I get it. Yeah, he's not playing as well, but you got to understand why he's not playing as well. The brother's tired. Same as Mane. Mane came out and said he doesn't know what's wrong. He just can't tell you, but we can tell you. Again, he's played a lot of games. He's had COVID. He goes to Senegal, comes back, plays again, plays at 120 miles per hour. Same as Salah. So we're kind of lucky that Salah's actually scoring goals. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's just one of them things where I think it's important that we do go out in the summer and we do go and get a new vibrant forward, maybe two, just to give us something different going forward. Jota, it's kind of strange that he's snatching at bare shots. It's like he's desperate to carry on scoring. He just needs to relax.
He had one on Saturday, didn't he? Where he probably should have been putting he definitely should have been putting it away. But it was also like a half decent save from Fraser Forster.
Yeah, is that when he dribbles past like a couple man?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought he was going to touch
the near post, I believe, instead of going to the far post. But yeah. I think that's an outcome of him being injured for so long, because he wants to pick up exactly where he left off, because he was coming in and inspiring. And like, just to go on to what you said, I do want to mention that it would be a lot worse if Salah is not scoring. Certainly, when Salah dropped for Minamino, and now we can obviously see the impact that Salah has in the team and the points that he wins us, innit?
Yes, King. Yes, King.
And Firmino, in terms of Firmino, like, yes, he's been knackered for quite some time. He's been eating Rodizio Rico all the time. Like, them Brazilian boys don't look after themselves, man. They go carnival, they do whatever they do, and they enjoy the prime of their life, man, which is understandable. If you're a footballer, yeah, and you're making a certain amount of money, I expect you to enjoy your life, innit? Like, life's not just about football. You've got your family, you've got God for Firmino, you've got whatever in it, you've got other external influences. But ideally, what I want to see in the summer is, you lot have known my stance. I want to see 2 forwards. I want to see someone
outline the plan, brother. Come on, let's go.
I want to see
Director
someone
of football
come as a replacement winger, and I want to see a number 9 that can give Jota, well, give like a Jota-esque type boost. When Jota came in, everybody was firing at that point. Literally, I believe Mane wasn't the one that was scoring as many goals. I think he maybe got 3 and 10 when Jota just hit the scene. And Firmino, as always, he hasn't really been the most prolific. So naturally, you don't expect him to be scoring that many goals. But Jota did amp up the team a little bit. I feel like we need to go out there and get a goal scoring midfielder. I don't want to say we haven't replaced Coutinho, but we haven't replaced Coutinho's goals in some sense. If the fact that it comes from a midfielder, it changes the dynamic of a team and the way they have to defend against you. Because if there's a midfield threat, they're always looking a bit further than the attackers, if you know what I mean. Like
I'll do you one even further than that. They've not even replaced Coutinho's replacement, who was supposed to be Nabil Fekir. So you could actually make the argument that this is a big Nabil Fekir-sized hole in the squad. Pause. So when you look at kind of players that we are linked to in that aspect, your Rodrigo de Pauls, your Aouars, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And one thing I really do like about Coutinho and Fekir is being long shot threats. It opens up a lot of space for people who are magnificent passers, in it. Like, we can't even Coutinho is one of the best passers that we've seen at Liverpool in terms of how quickly he can do it, the spotting of the pass, the spotting of the run. And because he's such a long shot threat, people come out to him. He's able to dribble past maybe a certain man and play that pass. Ideally, if Thiago is able to become that long shot threat, he is intelligent enough to become that magnificent passer in terms of being able to take one man out of the game or take two people out of the game and then slow it into the space opened up. And I think goals from set pieces have really killed us. Like, we got 17 last year. At the moment, we've got 4 games left to play and we're on 6. Like, last
goal we scored from a set piece was Roberto Firmino against Spurs, and that was near the beginning of December. So you can tell with no Virgil, with no Matip, no Lovren either. Which you've got to put in there.
He used to get goals.
So it's a bit of a difficult one.
Had 2 chances from corners against Southampton, and you can literally tell he's just used to defensive headering.
The second, I'm so glad you said that, because the second header was, if you that's the other end of the pitch, you're thinking, get in, lad, brilliant clearance, nice, some fantastic zonal marking. But obviously, when he's doing it from an offensive point of view, they're thinking, for fuck's sake, goals there. It's not in Rose Ed, Jesus. But
I just feel that we've been linked with, like you said, Owa and De Paul and Sancho's name's been banded about. I mean, if you bring those 2 guys in, that's 20 goals coming in. You know what I'm saying? Let's say Owa, he'll probably get you like 5 to 7 goals in the league. Sancho will probably get you like 13, 15, which is something we're lacking. So that's what we need. We need to increase the goal output, because I know we can sit here and we can criticize the forwards and whatnot, but they're literally holding up the team, and other people need to pull their weight.
Completely agree.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't so heavily rely on 3 players.
It's interesting you say that in terms of Aouar and Sancho.
Because they're going to miss chances.
Exactly, they're going to miss chances. And for me, if you look at our strongest midfield, right now we would probably say our strongest midfield is Fabinho, Thiago, and Henderson when everybody's fit. And where are the goals coming from those 3? Like, you literally can't see anyone that offers an attacking threat. Fabinho might slap one every 20 games from long range. Henderson might get a cheeky goal every 10 games, give you 3 a season. Thiago might give you 1 every 10 games, give you 3 a season as well. But we need someone in there that's got that attacking impetus. And I think Klopp might have missed the trick here with Curtis Jones, because Curtis Jones probably gets you 10. If he plays 38 games a season, he probably gets you 10 games. Say 10 goals. I know defensively he has a lot to be asked of him, and we did see from that Brighton performance where he did give away the ball to lead to the goal that they scored to draw with us, that he might have that lack of concentration at sometimes. But do you want to offset that with his goals that could possibly win us games? There's certain things that you just need to weigh up in your mind sometimes and just understand that maybe you are foregoing that defensive stability, but going forward, you might be afforded a lot more.
I completely agree, and I want to touch on something Elle said there earlier before we kind of move on to the next stage. When you mentioned Aouar and Sancho, you're gonna get a level of production I'm not gonna say guarantee because nothing in this life is guaranteed, but you can kind of forecast a decent level of production from both of those players. But more importantly, you're getting different elements from both of those players individually that you don't have from people currently in the team. So it's what I said earlier. I think when Mike said, I think it might have been yesterday, that's how long time is. It's like the time for me is like that bloody game on Saturday. It just goes on forever. When he said, who would you rather have, Aouar or Florian Neuhaus from Borussia Mönchengladbach? I said, for the price, I'd definitely have Aouar. And you're going to get a little bit of something different from him because he can play both deeper and he can play more up front. And I also said in rebuttal to that Aouar is essentially what we see as the template for what Naby Keita should be, if that makes sense. So he can bring in, he plays on that exact same side of the pitch that Keita prefers, and you're going to get something there, a little bit of creative and dynamism from him in that space, which is something we've massively lacked, and is one of the things we've been screaming out for from Keita and the rest of the players in the team. I do want to move on to the next section. I want to talk about this man we're going to talk about right here, Alisson Becker. Kind of going off the conversation we had about the front three not scoring and that period in the game where we got really sloppy and we were creating chances and we had that little bit of uncertainty because we weren't putting stuff in the back of the net. And Southampton started to grow in the game. They started to get that little bit more confidence. Up steps the guy that people like to call fat, barbecue base Becker, Alisson Becker, the big man, the man himself, the dad of the year, a dad once again for the third time. Someone's been enjoying themselves during lockdown.
Oh shit!
He can't help himself. Fair play.
Well, so he's got 3 kids.
He's got 3 kids. He came to the club with one. He came to the club with 1 child, and now he's on his 3rd season with a 3rd child. So,
his trophy.
Yeah.
He's been enjoying it. You got to celebrate a Copa America win somehow. You know what I'm saying? But up steps this man, Alisson Becker, and he was so assertive, so dominant, and you got the glimpse of the old Alisson Becker, the Alisson Becker from last season, the Alisson Becker from the season before, where he just comes in and he adds that calm nature to the squad. Mark, I'll come to you on this. One of the things that we learned that from this game, it's really starting to happen for him again at this crucial time of the season. How important has he been in these past few games? Again, the results aside, how important has he been in these games against Leeds, against Newcastle, and more importantly against Southampton?
Honestly, I can't emphasize his importance to the team as a whole. Knowing that you've got a goalkeeper that can turn up on his day and stop you from conceding, even if you are beaten, that puts a lot of confidence in the team going forward, and they're able to defend on the front foot a lot more. The Newcastle game, there was certain great saves. The Leeds games, there was great saves. And yeah, I know I just did Firmino about his Rodizio Rico habits, and you can see the same with Alisson Becker. He likes to eat, man. He likes to enjoy life, as you can tell from his kids. But he knows when he can step up, and regardless of his physical attributes and how he looks at the moment physically in terms of weight, and people can say whatever they want to say, he is still a great shot stopper. And I was almost appalled when people mentioned him not being the best goalkeeper in the league, because when he is at his best, he's by far the best goalkeeper in the league, in my opinion. I remember Chelsea fans comparing Mendy, which I didn't like, especially when Mendy wasn't proven at the time. But Alisson Becker is a goalkeeper that wins you points, and there aren't many keepers in the league that can do that for you. When you have someone of that stature for you, like I said, it allows you to defend on the front foot a lot more. It allows you to be more confident as a team, and that, especially with the way we play with our high line, that needs to be there. That confidence in our goalkeeper to be able to do the sweeper keeper stuff and to be able to make great saves when people getting behind is so important to the team.
Completely agree. Els, I'll come to you, kind of following up from what Mike said there. That kind of that confidence you have in the goalkeeper to deliver points, and that's one of the main reasons that you sign a keeper of his stature, Alisson, to win you games of football in those moments like that. How impressive has he been with the centre back? It was a little bit sticky in the beginning, when he came back, Leicester included in that, when he has the incident with Kabak. Of course, he's dealing with his father passing away at that moment as well, so he's not in the right headspace. But now you kind of see him in this run of form that he's in, with Nat Phillips, with Reece Williams kind of sitting in front of him, and he's thinking, for fuck's sake, where are the other two lads? Where are they? they're good. They normally stop the ball from coming in. But weirdly enough, he looked more comfortable playing in less talented centre-backs than he's normally used to. So just kind of following off from what Mark said, just how impressive you've been with him in these past few weeks, and how much more safe have you been knowing that you can kind of count on him to be the safe pair of hands that he is in between the sticks.
So it is, he had a lot of credit in the bank for me, man. He had a lot of credit in the bank for me because some of the saves he makes, and I remember like us talking, we've never had a keeper who can just hold on to the ball, like literally. It sounds like mundane, and it sounds so like, well, yeah, every keeper should hold up, but no, every keeper doesn't hold on to the ball, and he does. Against Newcastle, we could have lost that game, but he made a fair few good saves in that game, kept us in the game. Against Leeds, he made a few good saves there, and against Southampton, he made, from what I can remember, like 3 or 4. There was a point where he's kicked the ball to, is it Che Adams? He's kicked the ball to Che Adams, and they've tried to lob him or something, but again, boom, he's kept it. He's held on, so he's recovered from his own mistake. For our goal, he made a save 1-on-1, gets the ball, then gets us on a counter attack. So yeah, I've been very impressed. But from what we've seen, we know what he's on. We know what Alisson's on. The level, Alisson's level is so high that I believe he's not even playing at his level yet. Do you know what I'm saying? That he's another player who can do with a break. He needs to mourn his father properly.
Yeah.
He needs to just relax. It's been a hectic season, but when he's on form, we get performances like Saturday where he's just dominant. He's just commanding. He oozes that quality, that control, that calmness that we have lacked a lot this season, and he wins you games. It's not necessary. It's not what am I trying to say? It's not every day that you get a keeper that wins you games. It's usually like the forwards who win the games, but people like Alisson, it could be 1-1 at 85 minutes. Then he just pulls off a fantastic save, holds onto the ball, then on we go for a counter attack. I think against no, he didn't. Not against United. I was going to say, but that was a Van Dijk header. But yeah, I feel that he has the same impact as Van Dijk in the respect of Van Dijk wins everything in the air. Everything in the air, Van Dijk wins it. Alisson, anything that comes in that 6-yard box, he usually gobbles it up. If it's a 1-on-1 save, he stands up for long and he makes a great save. He made another 6 save. Was it against Leeds? I think it was against Bamford.
Yeah.
But he made a 6 save against someone where he just stood up for long, and it was like, wow, you have to beat me now. And a lot of people fell. They fell. So yeah, but again, we're blessed that he's been fit at times this season when we needed him. Same way we've been blessed, like Salah's been scoring goals. These are your big players, and it just shows how important they are to the players and how important the spine is. I know a lot of people can come out and say that, oh yeah, everyone gets injuries, which is fair. Everyone does get injuries, and they're entitled to complain. If they don't complain about injuries, that's their problem. More fool them, because I'm going to use it as an excuse for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly.
You know what I'm saying? It's up to you if you don't want to complain.
It was on last legs, like man had malaria or something like that.
Bro, I'm going to run it.
I'm going to say that basically snapped his leg in half.
He had to hobble off. He was doing roly-polies off the pitch. Oh, you should have seen it. It was a sight. But yeah, we moved anyway. You know what I'm saying? That. So, but yeah. So I say that to say, having your spine is very important. Very, very important. And I'm going back to Alisson, but he's one of the fundamental parts of our side, and he has really, really helped us this season, man. So hopefully we get more of the same until the end of the season.
And if I do just add on to Ellis's point, yeah, if you look at our spine individually could probably be regarded as the best in their position in the world. So Alisson, Fabinho, Van Dijk, those three. I can slyly try and slide Mohamed Salah into the conversation as being spine, but no, I don't want to do that. We're going to be that.
No, go for it. I'll allow it.
All right, cool. Let's say those four. Mohamed Salah is probably one of the best forwards over the past 4 years that in the world, full stop. Fabinho is probably I want to say the best DM over the past 3 years in the world. Van Dijk has easily been one of the best centre-backs in the world for some time. Alisson's probably the premier keeper, or one of the premier keeper, top 3 probably, on his day in the world. And when you remove 3 of those 4, especially when Fabinho's moved into a role where he's not able to do his Fabinho things and get into challenges the way he wants to, because being at centre-back, he is that last man, and he's not able to challenge for the ball the way he wants to, because if he is beaten, then someone's thrown goal. And then removing Van Dijk and Alisson at times through the season, it's been a struggle for us. So naturally, people can complain about their injuries, but their injuries wouldn't have had as much of an impact to our squad, their squad, as our squad did. Like, I don't think City will be able to lose. At the moment, Diaz, Ederson.
Well, I'll give you the example right here. They lost Kevin De Bruyne, and then Ilkay Gundogan stepped up and became the best midfielder ever known to man.
That's literally it.
When last year it was, oh no, we lost Laporte. Oh no, no. And it's like this season we don't need Laporte.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh my god. We lost.
There's
that really Laporte.
Yeah. No, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, losing one player, fair enough. Losing one player can have a massive detrimental impact to a team. You're seeing it literally right now with Aston Villa and Jack Grealish. But then again, that's Aston Villa. That they don't have the endless bounds of cash that Manchester City do. To kind of use the Laporte thing as an excuse, fair enough. It was an important cog to the team. But then it's incomparable to what we've gone through this season. We had Alisson out for long stretches of the season. Virgil's been out for most of the season. Gomez has been out for most of the season. Matip then got injured, was out for most of the season. No football club has ever, to my knowledge anyway, lost 3 centre-backs in their entire season. It's unprecedented. You never see it.
And not like young kids or anything, like legit starting centre-backs.
Yeah.
Like championship winning centre-backs. Do you know what I'm saying? So
big men in this game.
That's why, and that's why, like, I'm very disappointed with the season. I'm not gonna lie. There's some games where we should have won regardless of who was playing at the back, but it's hard, fam. It's very, very hard, isn't it? Like, you have a way of playing. You want to try and stick to that way of playing. Then you're gonna move your midfield generals into your centre backs, and it just doesn't work. And you got players who are running on thin air. Your likes of Gini, Robertson, Trent to an extent, Mane to an extent. They're all running off and these are integral parts of the players, isn't it? Part of the team. So I feel this season was a wake-up call for us in terms of the lack of quality we have in our squad. I think that really needs to be addressed in the summer, because we have one too many passengers. We have players who are not really up to what we need them to be up to. Do you know what I'm saying? So we need to address that. I think it's just that mainly. I don't want to do the hyperbole thing and we need to start again. We need to do this. I just think we need to address the
it's not a complete. It's not a complete teardown.
It's not destroy the squad and rebuild. It's more be ruthless.
Nah, it's not that. Yeah, exactly. It's more be ruthless. Certain players that, sorry, you're not cutting it.
Yeah, you can't afford to be holding on to players because of sentiment anymore. It's more, this is a summer of opportunity like we've been touting for some time. There's so many players that are on the move who could contribute to this squad and help us to challenge for a title. So remove the players that are not doing that at the moment. The Origis, maybe the Caters, maybe the Oxes, maybe the Minaminos, all of those type of fringe players, and bring people who can contribute every single time they play, regardless of as and when they play. So, like when you look at City's team, as we mentioned before, Gundogan was able to come in and slot in and become one of the best midfielders to a point where he's been mentioned in team of the season. And Foden's able to come in and contribute. And Mahrez is able to come in and contribute. Sterling hasn't been the greatest this season, but has still contributed. I think he's still got 11 goals this season. Jesus is able to come in and contribute. You need to have all of those players who are able to do a job at a certain level, and you can't go down below that level anymore. We were, still are even Premier League champions. If we're talking about going forward, we want to be in that type of ilk. We want to be considered as that caliber of club. We can't afford to have people that go below that caliber anymore. And hopefully Klopp is able to see that. Mike Edwards is able to see that. The club is able to see that and able to make sure that these people that are not contributing to the level that we want or not able to reach their potential with Liverpool. So, for example, Minamino, who I think is an amazing player, but is not going to quite cut the mustard at Liverpool just because of the way we play, the way he plays himself, and it doesn't really seem suited. So ship him. Bring in Harvey Elliott, who's been slapping it at Blackburn. 7 goals, 5 assists. 7 goals, 11 assists, was it? I can't even remember.
Well, yeah, 7 goals, 11 assists, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Players like Harvey Elliott. You know what I'm saying? Bring him in, bro. Players like that a lot of Liverpool fans think, oh yeah, he needs another loan. He doesn't need another loan. Just put him in. He's been playing pro football since he was 15, fam. You know what I'm saying? Come sit on the bench, you're gonna get minutes. You come off, you get minutes. You know what I'm saying? Why would you take him on another loan where he has enough quality for me personally to impact, and he has enough? Like, I know I get onto Shaq a lot, but I get onto him because he's an experienced professional footballer, and I expect more from him, and he doesn't give me.
Especially with a player that has been to the clubs that he's been to.
He's got talent.
Played at the highest level. Level.
He's got talent, but for some reason, from one reason or the other, we don't see his talent frequently. Like, he'll give us like a spurt of 2 games or 5 minutes where he'll like do a couple through balls, but it's not enough because, again, players like Mane, players like Firmino, they need to sit down and they need to rest. Like, they need competition, and we're not giving them that. So I know this is away from Alisson Becker. We just started going on the tangent, but but like. What we've seen this season, like we said, it's not a thing where we need to like rip up the whole manual and flip this script. No, not really. We just need to enhance the squad. We need to make sure that when certain players are out, we have enough quality. We have enough quality to come in and just continue what we're doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Klopp always said that he likes to work with a small squad, but maybe Klopp needs to flip the script and he needs to think, okay, well, I can't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can't do that anymore because look what happened last season. If you had a bigger squad and you got certain players in, we wouldn't be in this position. You know what I'm saying? Again, and Liverpool need to, like we said at the start of the season or in the middle of the season when we was all breaking down, that's Liverpool. That is like when everything was just unraveling. We tried to get value in a market that had no value, and I think that was our downfall. Because had we sold a couple players for less money that we wanted, we would have got that centre back we needed in September. We probably would have got Kabak at that time, but we didn't. So hopefully they've learned a lesson from that, and we can now go and rebuild the squad as a whole and try and fill in a few gaps. Like, Liverpool need at least 17 good players, or 15, let's say 15 good players. Then you fill the rest with like your youngsters who are coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So just to link that all back into Alisson, there was a period of the season where I believe Alisson missed 4 games. And Kelleher was able to step up, but ideally you would want to be able to give Alisson the time off when he is grieving his father. Yeah. And instead of rushing him back, we need someone of that quality that can come in and do a job at goalkeeper even. But like Ellis said about maybe we should have done this and that in the summer, hindsight is an amazing thing, and it's easy to say and judge based on what has happened so far. Like, we haven't covered ourselves in glory throughout the season. The transfer committee, Klopp himself, the players. So it is what it is. We go again next season. I believe everything happens for a reason. Maybe if we did go out and get that centre back, we would have got the wrong option. Because I believe Konate is the right option for our squad in terms of profile, in terms of age profile, in terms of money, in terms of wages. I think Konate is absolutely perfect for us. So maybe everything does happen for a reason, and maybe we can just use this season as a springboard so that we are never in this situation again.
Yeah, it's like you guys were saying there. I think when they're planning out the season and what they need to do in August, you don't come up with a solution, and you don't really think about, okay, cool, what are we going to do if all three centre backs who normally start get injured? I mean, you say that in a meeting, you'd be like, "Oh, you on drugs? Like, what's going on here? Like, no way that happened."
Yeah,
but it's just one of those unfortunate things that has happened. But yeah, that we know for sure that they'll 100% carry 5 centre backs next season, which will be a good thing considering what we've gone through this year. But yeah, bringing that full circle back to Alisson Becker, you kind of do need to take away that uncertainty at times and not have to rely on your goalkeeper to kind of produce those moments of magic and just those little bright sparks to see yourself through the game, especially in the moment we're in now. But this is the situation we do find ourselves in, and we need him to deliver. And thankfully, he has in certain moments. So let's start the conversation about Thursday's game, the rescheduled game, because lads weren't happy because a league was being formed and stuff.
Yeah.
If you want all that chat, go and listen to Mugger. I'm not here for that. I'm talking about Liverpool. It's a game that always brings out the emotion in people. It brings the emotion out in the players. And it's going to be really weird turning up to Old Trafford and not having, 65,000, 70,000 screaming Mancunians calling you a bellend every possible opportunity and every single name under the sun. So, Els, I'll come to you. Do you think this game on Thursday, they might thrive without the crowd being there and actually play the game more than they do the occasion?
That's a good point. We haven't played them behind closed doors yet, have we? Oh, we did actually. We played with Drew. Yeah, I don't know. I think Klopp does this thing where he always plays the occasion. I'm not too sure why. He hasn't really got the best record away at Old Trafford. United haven't been the best at home, so it is an opportunity to just play the game. I hope Klopp rings that into their ears. Just play the game and take it to United. I don't think United like teams taking it to them and pressing them. So I hope that they play the game and not the occasion, because there's, like you said, there's no fans. There's no one there. So just play it like it's a normal game. We played them in the FA Cup. That was one of our better performances. Granted, we did lose. So it's tricky. It's a tricky one because we have to wait to see what the centre backs are saying, because we can't go into the game against United again with Reece Williams. He's going to have PTSD. We've got to just save the young kid. Fabinho at the back, we use a lot of balance in midfield. So it's one of them games you just have to wait and see what the team is and what comes out. But again, it is a game that we can win, because as good as United have been, I don't think they're the greatest of teams. And I believe that if we was to get our chances, hopefully we can take one or two of them. It's a game that is there to be won. But again, it's what Klopp does. Does Klopp play the occasion, or does Klopp play just the match? And that I'm not too sure why he plays the occasion. He always does it against Everton and United. Yeah, like, you know the ones where a foreign manager from the outside looking in, he sees that, oh yeah, those are the big games, so you got to treat it with respect. Then he brings that attitude in, and he always tries to bring it with, he doesn't want to lose against them, but he doesn't go out to win it. So we have to see, man. We'll have to see. Hopefully they just play the game and just get the 3 points and keep it moving.
It's a good point. I mean, hopefully they don't kind of get within their own head, especially with this fixture. I think it'll do them the world of good I mean, you look how they played in the FA Cup game. It was a fairly strong squad that we put out for that game in January. Again, they did lose 3-2. They gave away a stupid free kick towards the end of the game that Bruno scored. Shame he couldn't fucking do that this evening. But that was the game where it kind of felt it was somewhat going in the right direction. They were creating chances. They just stopped worrying about the defensive frailties and focused about the attacking side of things. And it kind of reared the head where we saw some of the issues that we still have now in terms of chance creation, not putting the ball in the back of the net. But Mark, I'll come to you kind of off the back of what Al said there as well. It's a weird one that Manchester United are going to play 3 games within the space of a week, which is madness. I think it's not even a week; it's like 5 days, something like that. And somehow they still have less injury worries than we do. We look at the lineup. Kabak is potentially not going to be fit enough to play on Thursday. Milner might be out. Keita might be out. And one of the things that we saw from the game against Southampton was the bench was extremely light, to the point where Billy Cometio, who has been playing very well for the under-18s, I have to give him his due there, was on the bench. And somewhere from the wilderness, they found Ben Woodburn, and he was on the bench as well, whose last appearance in the Liverpool squad was in the 4-0 against Barcelona all those moons ago. So do you think the lack of squad options and things he can do within this fixture really hinder the approach he can take? So let's just say, for instance, if you do kind of want to say, you know what, fuck it, let's go all-out attack, make it a bit of a basketball game, 4-2-4. Do you think he's got the weaponry at his disposal to do that?
First of all, I want to prefix what I want to say. With Glazers out, any United fans listening, 7 o'clock, be there, Thursday, smash up the place again, gift us our 3 points. Hopefully the fans will call in the owners' bellends instead of us. But yeah, moving on to what your question was, the 4-2-4 option would be an extremely nice way to go. But you lose a lot of control if you have to move Fabinho back into the centre-back pairing, which looks like is going to be the move for the moment, because you're not going to put Reece Williams and Nat Phillips up against a Cavani or up against a Rashford. Rashford would absolutely tear them limb from limb. And Cavani's movement is so great as a striker, and we all know he's a world-class striker. Let's not even front on that aspect of his game. He moves so well off the ball that I don't think those two will be able to pick him up. As good as they are in the air, they will get lost at sometimes and they will lose concentration, especially not having played top-flight football against that many top-level strikers in terms of Cavani's experience. So relative to Cavani's experience. So a lot depends on our centre-back pairing. I'm not too sure who would start in midfield. Maybe Gini and Thiago, which I don't like. When I have seen Gini and Thiago in a pairing together in midfield, and there is no Fabinho there.
No, they have to cover a lot of ground. Yeah,
Gini has to cover a lot of ground by himself, and Thiago isn't as mobile as Gini is and isn't able to do that. Ideally, we would have another centre-back, maybe a Ben Davis, who could step in for us, maybe, instead of just sitting on the bench. But it looks like it's going to be a big struggle for us.
I wouldn't have been shocked if Ben Davis was H, by the way, from Line of Duty. That's how fucking random he is.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph and the little donkey.
Maybe that's what the 2 million was for, paying off the OCG.
Yeah, 100%.
But honestly, I think regardless of who we play in centre-back, Fabinho in this game is more key to us in midfield than he is in centre-back. And with the way I figure the two formations, so the two lineups going with Fabinho as centre-back and with Fabinho in midfield, it would be a lot harder to target Trent's channel if Fabinho is in midfield and is able to cover that space, as opposed to being a centre-back and being isolated versus Rashford. We have seen him isolated against Werner, where he played really well. We also have seen him against Chelsea, where they beat us 1-0, I believe, in the Mason Mount game, and he didn't really cover himself in glory. Ideally, what I would want to see going forward in that game is maybe, I do want to say a 4-2-3-1 with Fabinho and maybe Thiago. I'm not too sure who goes in defence. I might say risk it and do the Nat Phillips and Reece Williams thing and just hope we have enough going forward to break them down, especially with them losing Maguire, not being the best defensively. I believe they've got 38 goals conceded, which is quite high for the traditional top four. We've got 39 goals conceded, to put that in context, and we also hold a 7-2. So Man United have leaked goals at times. As you can see today, against Leicester, they weren't the greatest defensively. I know that is a significantly rotated team, but there are ways to get at them. And hopefully we'll be able to exploit that. Hopefully Yotta's not snatching at chances again. Mane looks like he may have turned the corner. Salah's been Salah throughout the season and looks like he hasn't really missed a step, regardless of how the team is playing. He's been able to keep it at a decent level or acceptable level for us. So maybe he's able to do the same and spaz on them at Old Trafford. But a lot of me was writing off this game prior to the Leicester game. But with Leicester winning their game, I think we need a draw at minimum.
Yeah, it's still doable with 10 points, which is the maddest thing. This game, it's just one of those games where it's so late in the season, and the fact that we're still playing football now is crackers to me, and the fact that we still got 3 games left after this as well, it's just absolutely insane. But just feeds into the narrative of the season more than anything. This game for me is, I actually go as far as to say it's your biggest game of the season. In what's riding on it for the remainder of those last 3 games, and the fact that it's your last big opponent, it's your biggest rival in football. Say what you will. Everton are your closest rival, but Manchester United are your biggest rival. They are where you probably should be at the moment. They're doing all the things right, and you kind of want to just give a little bit of a reminder. You want to give a little bit of a receipt and say, look, we might be having a down year, but even at our lowest moment, you still can't beat us. You beat us in your own backyard. And rest assured, when we heal up, when we come back next season, when we come back next August, we're going to be there. We're going to be better than we were then. And we're going to trounce you again. And we're going to try, we're going to, Eddie Guerrero quote, I say it every week. Every week we get a wrestling nod on this pod. We're going to lie. We're going to cheat. We're going to steal. We're going to claw our way back to regaining that Premier League. And that's why I think this game is going to be the biggest of the season, and they need to really show out. Injuries or not, they just need to show out pride, man. Just do it. Just do it for who you are.
By any means possible, man. Regardless of what you have to do to get that win, get that win.
Mate, I take the filthiest of own goals because I've seen the dodgiest things. I've seen the dodgiest things happen for Manchester United when we play them. The dodgiest things always happen, whether it be Diego Forlan popping up, whether it be John O'Shea with a lay header, whether it be someone absolutely shite just popping up and scoring a goal for them, or it'd be a moment of magic like when Mata scored that overhead kick.
That was sick.
There's always something mad that happens for them. It's about time something nice happened for us in that fixture. That's all I'm going to say. But there's not too much really to talk about on that game in terms of lineups and stuff. Obviously, Klopp will have his pre-match press conference today. As you're listening, it'll probably be around midday, so do check out for that in terms of the latest injury news and just to see how he feels in these press conferences, because I always find it really interesting because you can tell he's had a good week of training. When he's in a decent mood, he's quite happy, and you can tell he's been had an absolutely awful week of training when he's really scowling at journalists, which is the funniest thing. Let's end the pod on this note. So our top 4 chances took a bit of a dent with Leicester getting that win against the hobbled Manchester United. That was against what's that? What's that Manchester United team that they started up because of the Glazers? The City of Manchester or something like that? FC United. That was FC United playing Leicester this evening.
All Salford.
Or Salford. Actually, yeah, Salford would have paid 16 different. Salford would have been. You remember that episode of The Simpsons with the softball team, and Mr. Burrs basically pays all these Major League Baseball players. that'd be Mank. That'd be the Mank Che Guevara doing it all for Salford City there.
Yeah, I'm saying.
he's such a dirty bastard. They did take a little bit of a dent in terms of probability. But I'm going to turn to the optimist. I'm going to turn to the guy who can light up a room with his optimism. It's his most endearing quality. You can see the positives in everything. Mark, top 4 chances for Liverpool. 4 games remaining. All or nothing. Everything's on the
We get
line.
top 4. We get top 4. At the expense of Leicester.
They've
Shout out Harry
really angered you this evening, haven't they?
No, not really. I just can't see them beating Chelsea. So they need 4 points to confirm it. I can't see them beating Chelsea, regardless of how heavily Chelsea have to rotate. Chelsea have, in my opinion, the second best squad in the league at the moment in terms of depth and who they can bring on. Like, they didn't start Mount. They can start Mount. They can start Cho. They can start Abraham. They can start Pulisic. They can start Ziyech. Like, they can start whoever they want. And Tuchel has them playing in a way that they're very hard to break down. So will Leicester be able to do that? And I know Kelechi has been in magnificent form, but Vardy hasn't really been. And other than Kelechi, the goals are not really coming from that many places. So take Kelechi out of the game, and are they really going to threaten Chelsea like that, especially with a back three? Then moving on to Spurs, I think Kane is going to be gunning for that golden boot. The same guy that tried to sell his daughter for a golden boot is going to be fit and firing for that match. Like, that's going to be the match where I think he'll probably be on 22 goals. Salah will probably be on 21 goals, and he'll be thinking, yeah, Salah could score at any minute. I'm going to have to score 3. So I think he's going to take it to them. In terms of our chances, prior to the Kabak injury, I didn't see us losing the United game. I thought we'll draw or win. At the moment, I see a draw. It depends on the lineups. Then I'll be able to kind of suss out where I think the opportunities are, where I think we have our weaknesses, and so on and so forth. But West Brom have already resigned themselves. I know Sam Allardyce is a prick, but we should be able to beat them. They shouldn't really offer too much of a threat going forward. Burnley is probably where I have the most doubt about us as a team, because they'll be going into Turf Moor with fans behind them in the droves, and those racismo guys will be able to cheer on their team, especially with, as you mentioned earlier, Chris Wood scoring goals at a rate that was previously ridiculous. I remember criticizing you for Chris Wood, or all of us even criticized you for Chris Wood. Or was it Ashley Barnes? I'm not too sure which one it was.
It was Ashley Barnes. I can't even cap on that one. It was Ashley Barnes.
But Chris Wood has been scoring goals at a phenomenal rate over the past few games, and he, against Nat Phillips and maybe Reece Williams or maybe Kabak, will relish that physical battle, especially against someone who is significantly less experienced. If we are able to put up a great result versus West Brom where we can maybe run up the score, then we'll go into the Burnley game fit, full of confidence, hopefully fit anyway, as the season has gone on. I can't really stay fit with too much confidence. As fit as you can be. But, as fit as you can be, and hopefully we'll be able to go in with the attacking confidence to see that game to bed. And then we've got Crystal Palace in front of the Kop, and those fans will probably spur us on in the last game. So I can see it coming out as us getting, I believe, 67 points, Leicester on 65. I don't think they beat Chelsea. I think they draw with Spurs.
It's interesting. This is the weird thing. It's because it can still. It's unlikely, but it can still happen. I mean, anything is possible in this life, and we know it. From the optimist to the pessimist, one of the biggest haters I know, the player haters ball, Silky Johnston himself. Els, what are you thinking?
Man, fuck these guys, man. I don't know, man. I'm not as optimistic as my dear brother Mark. It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard to just. To get a win against United, to get a draw against United is touch and go. Last few games of the season. Are we going to beat Burnley? Have to go to their ground, try and get something from their ground. It's long, man. It's just long. And my main thing is, if we had Kabak and Phillips, I'll be a bit more confident. But Kabak's not going to be playing, so then we have to use either Fabinho or Williams. I don't know if they have enough in there in their armory to combat, let's say, like you said, Ash Barnes or Chris Wood or anyone like that. So I don't think we can do it. I'd like to say we can, but I don't think we're going to do it. It's just too much for us to turn around. Obviously, we'll look back at the games we're supposed to win, and we should have won them. But the only thing in my head is that it's football, innit? It happens every season. We're not new to this, man. Like, all of us are like 25 and over, innit? And we've seen seasons like this before. Like, so like we go again next season. We just hope next season they do the right thing and win when they have to win. We was talking before. Obviously, we don't want to ramble on too much. We was talking before the pod, and we were saying that we don't think that our transfer summer will really hinge on us getting top 4. To be fair, so that's one thing I'm not too worried about. We have players coming back next season, and I feel that the league will be there to be won, because I don't feel Man City are far and away the Man City that was 17, 18, 19. I feel that they've been brought back to earth a little bit. Still an absolutely magnificent team, deserve to win a title because they went on a crazy run. But I feel they haven't really like tore up the league like they usually do from time when Man United have lost fewer games than them. Do you know what I'm saying? The only thing is they just know how to win. They need a striker.
Also, just to add to that as well, Ellis, as you mentioned pre-pod as well, they still haven't won the league technically. Like, City by now would have had it wrapped up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think with Man United losing today, they win the league.
Yeah, they've won it now.
Yeah, they win it. But
there is legitimately 100 people outside of the Etihad, which is quite funny.
Way small time team. Well, yeah, so you can see, like, look how long, even though they went through that long stretch of not losing, look how long it took them to like wrap up the league anyway. So I feel that, yeah, once we get our ducks in order and we sort ourselves out, I feel we'll be back next season. We just have to take the season on the chin. And like I said, it was a realization that the squad isn't good enough, and hopefully Klopp can see that and Liverpool can see that, and then we can go out and get and sort out what we need to sort out and just keep it moving from there, man. But unfortunately, I think we've just left it a bit too late. I don't think we have enough energy within the squad to just try and get us over the line.
So can I make a quick outlandish shout? Like, I don't think Kop End is the same without a Marco crazy shout. Yeah. So
it's what makes it what it is.
I'm gonna say Firmino's gonna be the one to get us the goal that puts us into top 4. Similar to, do you remember Genie's goal when against Southampton?
Middlesbrough.
Against Middlesbrough, slapped it. I think it's going to be either Firmino, Jones, or Nat Phillips. Put those 3 up. And I know someone from Liverpool is listening, yeah. So get them 3 boys on it. Get them on the PEDs or whatever you need to do. Make sure they're fit for Aaron.
Thoughts of Mark belong to Mark alone and not of that of Kop End Fracas.
And Matt, when you get top 4, I'm coming to shave your head top still.
Head top's gone.
Gone.
Clean. We're going bold, baby. Bold. I have to wax it after as well.
Slap the alcohol in his head. That sting. Yeah, I think in terms of the decision making for this summer, it's one of those ones where you kind of have to remove a little bit of the emotion around it, especially when you've been on the journey that you have with some of these players and you've achieved the things you have too. But I think the most important thing, as we've seen from this kind of run of games, is a lot of these players have lost a little bit of trust from Jurgen Klopp, that he can't use them in these situations. So that does seem to really indicate that we do need a bit more strength and depth in specific areas of the squad. And like we said earlier on, it's not a complete tear down, it's not a complete rebuild. It's just a little bit of a remodeling of the kitchen, really, in all honesty. But thank you, gents, Mark, Els, thank you very much for joining me this evening to talk about all things LFC. You will catch myself and Ellis today, 7 p.m, YouTube Live. It's not YouTube Live, just YouTube. We'll be live with the guys from Mugger for the fight card as Liverpool prepare to take on Manchester United at Old Trafford, minus the protesters this time. And me and Els will be debating why Liverpool are better than Man United in pretty much every single aspect, bar this season. And he'll be doing his utmost to make sure that Bruno Fernandes doesn't get anywhere near some form of starting 11. That is for sure. So be So do be on the lookout for the links when they do go out on the Kop End Fracas, Touchline Fracas, and the Mugger Twitter pages for when you can access that YouTube live. But be sure to join in tomorrow. But again, from myself, Krish, Els, and Mark, thank you so much for joining in. We will see you on Thursday evening if you're a Patreon member. But if you're not, we'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in.
We're coming for you.